Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to be exploring the meaning of Latin root words. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video for me, write your date and LO really neatly in your home learning book, or if you're in school, writing it in your red book, making sure it's underlined, neat and beautiful. And when you're ready, unpause the video and we'll get cracking. Okay, so that's all sorted. Before we get on with our main lesson, we are going to do some brain warm-ups, just like last week, but this week's brain warm-ups for our SPAG are going to be to do with plurals. And what that means is when you have nouns, you can have one of something. So you could have one pen. That's a singular. There's one of them. But if you've got two of them, we call that a plural. So if you've got more than one of something, then you've got a plural. If you've just got one, then you've got a singular. And as you know, we change the word if we've got more than one of something. So I've got one pen, or I've got two pens. So I add an S on the end. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a selection of pictures and words on the screen, and I would like you please to write the plural form. So you're going to guess what's underneath the little red box, and you are going to write the plural form. So how do we change the word when we've got more than one of something? So you're going to say what you see. So the first one I've given you, one sausage, and over here I've got three. Pause it, pause the video and write the answer down. Well done, I've got three sausages. So all I've done is I've added that S suffix, that plural suffix on the end. Are you ready for the next one? Okay, I have got one baby here. Look, he's very cute. He's having a nap. Well, he's having a chill in his little blanket there. I've got one baby, so that's the singular with a Y on the end. And over here, I've got three babies. So what is under the red box? Say what you see, pause the video and write it down. What is the plural? What is the plural form of baby? Okay, and the answer is babies. So this is a funny one because the word baby ends in the letter Y. And when we form the plural, what we do is we chop off that letter Y and we change it for an I-E-S. So it's not babies like this, where we've just added an S. It's babies like this. So we've got I-E-S on the end. Well done if you got that one. The next one. Okay, so I've got one dog, or I've got many. Pause the video and write it down. Dogs. All I've done is I've added an S. That is a really common way of finding a plural. So we had before one pen, many pens. So adding the letter S on the end is a really common way. It's not the only way, but it's a really common way to find plurals. Let's have another one. Okay, so you could have one box, or I've got three of them. What do I have? I have three. Pause it and write the word down for me. Boxes. So with this one, we haven't just added an S, we've added an ES. Okay. And the next one, we've got one church. But if I've got two of them, I've got two. Pause the video and write it down. Churches. Well done. So that is another one where you don't just add the letter S on, you add an ES. Now, there is a golden rule of how you should never, ever, 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 ever form a plural. Do you want to know what it is? Those pesky apostrophes. You should never, ever. Sometimes I actually have seen this. I mean, thankfully not now with the class that I teach, but I have seen some people in the past write things like this. So they write the word, so they might write church, and then sometimes people think, oh, I know it's churches, but oh, I've got an S on the end. So I've got to have an apostrophe. Absolutely not. We must never, ever, ever use apostrophes for plurals. So, yeah, promise me. Promise. No apostrophes for plurals, ever. There's different reasons, and we'll learn about those later in the year. So that is our brain warmer, all to do with plurals. And today, as I said, we are going to be learning about a Latin word root. And you might think, oh, that's a bit fancy, Mrs. Thompson. Why are we learning about Latin? We're only 8. Actually, Latin is really, really important because we have lots of Latin in our language. So if we learn a little bit of Latin here and there, it can help us with all sorts of things. It can help us with understanding new words. It can help us with our spellings. It can help us. It's a really good way of if we find a word that we don't understand, but we understand a little tiny part of it because we know some Latin, then it's a really good way of helping us figure out the meaning of a word that we perhaps haven't seen before. So that's what we're going to be looking at this week. And your job today, you are going to create a bit of a mind map. And I'm going to tell you in a moment what word root we are going to be looking at. And you're going to write that in the middle of your page. And then all around the outside, you're going to write all your different ideas for words that have that root in them. And you might be able to think of some of your own that you can add on there. And you can add pictures and things like that to help you remember. So let's find out what our word root is for today. So this word root can be spelled in 2 different ways. I'm going to move myself out of the way because I think my face is going over the top of that picture there. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Is that better? Hopefully you can see me a bit better now. So here we go. So I want you to have a little look. Our word root today is ped or pod. It means the same thing, but it can be spelt in 2 different ways. So I just want you to think of it as the same word root, okay? Now I've got lots of different pictures here. So we've got a centipede. We've got a pedicure. A pedicure is when somebody has their toenails done. We have got a pedometer. A pedometer is like a little gadget that you can use help you measure how many steps you've taken. So some people have pedometers built into their watches or their Fitbits or whatever it is that they use. If you have a smartphone, you will have a pedometer inside your phone along with all the other technology. So a pedometer is used for measuring steps. We have got a podiatrist. A podiatrist is a special kind of doctor that looks after a certain part of the body. You can see it in the picture. We have got a pedestrian. So a pedestrian is a person who walks places, basically. And here, this is a part of your bicycle or tricycle or unicycle even. A part of a bike that is used by a certain part of your body. So what do you think? Have a chat with the people around you. You can pause the video if you want. What do you think is underneath the red box? What do you think ped or pod might mean? What is similar about all of these pictures? Okay, I'm going to reveal the answer. Ped or pod is Latin and it means foot or feet. So all of these pictures that you can see around me, pardon me, they are all to do with their feet. So a centipede has, well, I've never actually counted them, to be honest. It looks like there's perhaps not quite 100 there, but it's got lots of feet. And you've got millipedes as well. So you could have a centipede or a millipede. So that's got ped in, then you can see. You've got a pedicure, which is when you have your toenails done. You can see this person here has gone for a lovely shade of pink. You can also have a manicure, which is your fingernails, but this is your toenails, so that's on your feet as well. A pedometer, that measures your steps, and your steps you take with your feet. A podiatrist is a special kind of doctor that you would go to who would look after your feet. And a pedestrian walks using their feet. And a pedal, well, what kind of What part of your body would you put on the pedal of your bike? Absolutely, it would be your feet. So that is what links all of these words together, ped or pod. Now, you might want to pause the video here and start your mind map. You can use some of the ideas from the pictures that I have given you, and you could even do the ped or pod in a slightly different colour so we can see it. And you can always add your own ideas on too. Okay, and I'm going to give you a bit more of a challenge now. So you are going to add some of your own ideas. So if you're doing it in school, you can talk about it with the children that are around you and the grown-up that you're in school with. If you're doing this activity from home, you can talk about it with a parent or carer, or you might have a brother or sister there with you. And I've got a couple more pictures to give you some clues about ped or pod words. So see if you can add those onto your mind map. And the aim of the game is to fill in as many different ideas as you possibly can. And of course, you are always welcome to add pictures to go along with it. So you might know this little gadget here. You might know what that's called. So you could add that to your mind map. Okay. This word down here, it's got the pod in it. So it's got how many feet do you think this sort of animal might have? Maybe you could think of some examples of bipod animals. Bipod. Okay, and I've got a really tricky one here. So there are some animals in the world, not many, but there are some that we call gastropods. And what that means, well, we know what pod means. It's got something to do with the feet. But gastro is your stomach. Okay, so gastro, that's where we get words like gastroenteritis. That's a tummy bug. So if you've got anything with gastro in it, the red part there, that means tummy. So tummy feet. Interesting. What do you think a gastropod animal might be? Okay, use some of these tips. See if you can add those to your mind map. Okay, and if you've got your own ideas, you can add them on there too. Okay, so you can pause the video if you want to add to your mind map, or you can close the video completely and see if you can research some of your own ideas. Before we go, I know you're all wanting to find out what a gastropod is. Okay, a gastropod, you might already know this, and well done if you managed to get it. We talked about gastro means tummy or stomach, and pod means feet. So there are some animals in the world, this sounds a bit gross, but there are some animals in the world that use their feet to help them feed. So they eat using their feet. So I wonder if you can research some animals that are gastropods. That would be really, really interesting. And of course, obviously, when you learn a fancy word like gastropod, you can impress all your friends and parents and carers. You can go, "Oh, mother, did you know that animal is a gastropod?" And they'll be like, "Whoa, you're so brainy." So see if you can find out some examples and do a bit of research of your own. Well done for completing your mind map today. Have a lovely afternoon. Make really good choices. Keep working hard, and I will see you again soon. Bye.